Okay, this is crazy. This is unexpected. We've got a lot to cover. This 10-page arrest report affidavit. It involves Madeline Soto's music teacher. I mean, this guy, Italo Brett, one of his names, he has many names, Italo Brett. He just gave his video deposition in the case of Stephen Stearns, Madeline's stepdad, not really her stepdad, her mother's on and off again boyfriend, who was accused of getting rid of Maddie and doing horrible things to her. Well, this music teacher at Hunters Creek Middle School down there in Florida, he just gave his video deposition January 29th, 2025, and he was arrested 6 days later, apparently at midnight. And we're going to go over it all, like the fact that Italo lived only a 1-minute drive away from Madeline Soto's grandmother's house in Orlando. At the end, we're going to talk about Stephen Stearns' CSAM case and why I know for a fact it's not going to start in February as a jury trial is scheduled for. So we have a lot to talk about, but first I want to give credit where credit is due. All these YouTubers who have helped me, and we're just like, oh my goodness, we can't believe this has happened. I've got to thank Ninchi True Crime on YouTube. I saw the news first on her YouTube channel last night. I started digging into it. She was emailing me. It's just upsetting and troubling as we get into these details of this arrest affidavit, what Maddie Soto's music teacher is accused of doing. Now, it doesn't involve her as a victim from what I've read, but it involves other children. It's so troubling to know that such a person was around so many children for so many years. So Ninchi True Crime has been covering Maddie's case in depth. Very great. I found out about the arrest from her yesterday, the day it happened, Wednesday, February 5th. She's emailing me the best advice. She's saying we've got to pray for these kids. And I'm thinking, indeed, we've got to pray for these children, the victims, the ones who were around him, for the parents who gave their trust to this man. I said, I'm not going to cry on camera. I try and get my tears out off camera. And I've also got to thank Gavin Fish. I've linked to Gavin Fish below because he's the reason I got this 10-page arrest affidavit. I've been putting in my own FOIAs galore. Of course, I'm trying to get more info on Italo, his body cam videos, his arrest, everything. Thankfully, Gavin Fish published the 10-page PDF on his Patreon. I'm linking to it below. And I also plan to upload the PDF to my Patreon if you just want the PDF by itself, so you can download it from there, because I don't know how much of it, once we start getting into it, I don't know how much of it I can actually read on YouTube, but I'll do my best. I've also got to thank The Docket on YouTube. He purchased this document on Pacer, and he ended up sending it to me as well. Since last night, I've been digging and digging to get all the information I can about Italo. And I saw on March 4th, 2020, he wrote, one of the coolest things I got to do this week was accompany the amazing Hunters Creek Middle School singers at the FVA District 8 Middle School MPA. I love my job. So this is back in 2020. So even though he's only 25 years old, I had to not mix up Italo Brett Jr., the one arrested, with his dad. I believe a man who is his dad, Italo V. Brett Sr. He was born in 1960. And I probably won't publish any photos of the parents or anything. I feel bad for his parents. I'm like, I know some people just watch these and they take off and they go off and blame the parents. And I have no idea what his parents knew. His parents could have been just as blindsided by Italo's arrest as anyone else. But anyway, March 4th, 2020, that's like almost 5 years ago. Was Italo a 20-year-old teaching at Hunters Creek Middle School way back then, saying, I love my job? Well, he doesn't have that job now as we speak. At least during the investigation, he's not going to be allowed back there. Then on May 6, 2020, he posted some kind of journey to the past. What do you do when you can't make music in person, he wrote. You do it virtually. And that's what's getting him in trouble. These virtual lessons with children where he encouraged these little boys, 6 and 8 years old, as you'll see when we read the details of this affidavit, encouraging them to do horrible things. Now, on January 27th, 2024, Italo Brett posted a photo with himself and Maddie at school. And she's standing there. I was like, oh my goodness, there's Maddie. She's standing up. He's playing the piano. She's amongst other students whom I'm redacting out. That's what I plan to use as the thumbnail of this video because it was 1 month, exactly 1 month before Maddie's disappearance. Ugh, horrible. It's 1 month prior to when he's going to post Maddie's missing photo. Now again, we don't have any evidence that Italo messed with any kids at Hunters Creek Middle School, but it's just so disconcerting to think of him being around other children and what he encouraged these boys to do. So on January 27th, he posted that photo. You can see Maddie standing up there, beautiful girl singing. She's standing up that time. In his interview later with police, he'll speak of the Friday prior to Madeline's disappearance, how she was not standing up that day. She was actually sitting down because he goes, some girls sit down because they have cramps, you know. But on February 27th, 2024, Italo posted, Madeline is still missing as of this afternoon. If you have any information that could be of any help, please contact Crime Line or myself, and it will be relayed to the proper authorities. Let's bring her home. Now that kind of gave me the ick too, because he said, contact Crime Line or me, myself. Now, I know he might have just been saying that because maybe certain students, maybe certain young people or whomever might have felt more comfortable going to him. Him being such a young person himself. Ugh. And that's what gets me because there was this level of trust. The little boy is even going to talk about Italo having a driver's license. We'll get there. Let's have patience. I'm going to slow down. We're going to just do this whole thing. I've been researching for like 2 days now almost. So you might remember the audio interview with Italo Brett on February 29th, 2024 at 3:20 p.m. And Italo, a lot of it, I'll just play it at the end as a refresher. I had to listen myself. I was like, boy, he was probably pooping bricks during this interview and during his recent video deposition. You know, talking about, no, I didn't notice anything with Maddie, and talking about Stephen Stearns and whatever he must have said in his video deposition. He was probably sitting there like, oh my goodness, these cops don't know my secret, but thank God someone found out his secret on Discord. So he stated, it's redacted, you'll hear it in the interview, but he's Maddie's chorus or music teacher. He said he never discussed her home life, thankfully, or personal life with him. I hope that's true. Maddie had more than enough predators around her with Stephen Stearns. Maddie never disclosed any info about any physical or mental or otherwise abuse, or never expressed any thoughts or feelings of harming herself. That's what Italo told police. He said Maddie didn't have any changes in her behavior. She appeared happy. She would still participate in class. Like he said, even that Friday when she was sitting down, she still sang. She was still participating. I think she really did love her chorus, her music class. Even Maddie's mom, Jennifer Soto, said Maddie had a beautiful voice. Italo described Maddie as normal and helpful. No changes since the beginning of the year. Italo even mentioned that Maddie was cleaning off his piano papers and straightening his papers on top of his piano desk or whatever. But I'm like, oh boy, he was hiding his big secret. So even in this video deposition, I wonder what will happen. You know, he was scheduled January 29th, 2025 at 2:40 p.m. to give a video deposition, Italo Brett. And I won't give his home address, but I did look up his home. It's really nice. I think he still lives with his parents. He's going to say he lived with them since 2001. But it's a beautiful home, and I even discovered his parents had needed help. It's almost a $500,000 home on Santa Clara Drive. That's what the documents give out, so I won't give the exact address. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Beautiful home, nearly 2,000 square feet, off the market. I did find some paperwork where his parents were having problems, and they needed help, I guess, paying the rent. Before we get into that, let's go over this 10-page document. Again, you can download it below if you want to read it for yourself, because some stuff I will have to just kind of redact. So this was just filed yesterday, February 5th, 2025. I'm grateful Gavin Fish got it from the United States District Court for the Middle District of Florida. It says the United States of America versus Italo Raphael Brett Bonini. So I hate when people have many different names. Now I understand it sometimes. I have a friend, she goes by both of her parents' last names and she hyphenates. Well, this one, he just told police, my name's Italo Brett. Now that's confusing, but his full name is Italo Raphael Brett Bonini. Now the way he's listed in VineLink, they list incarceration details. He's listed as Italo Brett Bonini, as if Brett Bonini is one word. Confusing. Anyway, this complaint talks about the dates of offense. The date of offense on or about January 12th, 2025. This is when this crime was discovered. Coercion or enticement of a minor using a facility of interstate commerce. So here's the attached affidavit signed yesterday. Basically, it's in support of a criminal complaint against Italo Raphael Brett Bonini, here on out known as Brett Bonini, through this affidavit. I believe there's probable cause that on or about January 12th, 2025, in the Middle District of Florida and elsewhere, Brett Bonini violated 18 U.S.C. 2422B by enticing a minor using a facility of interstate commerce to engage in activity for which a person could be charged with a criminal offense. Okay, so this is Ruth Marrero, a sworn law enforcement officer with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office since 2017, and prior was a police officer with the Los Angeles Police Department for 4.5 years. So she's currently assigned to the FBI Violent Crimes Against Children Task Force as a TFO. So this person has specialized training concerning all these different types of crimes, exploitation, CSAM, computer crimes, investigated all this stuff. Great person, I believe. Kudos to these people who can figure this stuff out. And it talks about all of her experience and background, authority. Now, here's the probable cause statement. On February 4th, so this was just on Tuesday. On February 4th, 2025, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office was contacted by the Maryland State Police in reference to a male suspect, later identified as Brett Bonini. I'll just call him Italo. On January 18th, 2025, at approximately 8:30 p.m., Maryland State Trooper Stallings, assigned to the Maryland State Police Bel Air Barrack, was dispatched to the report of a computer crime involving 2 child victims. So they're going to just call them CV1 and CV2. These 2 boys live in Aberdeen, Maryland. Trooper Stallings contacted the father of the victims, and that father, he's going to be known as AP. So AP explained that child victim 1 created a Discord account while he was staying with his grandparents on January 12th, 2025. Okay, so this little boy created a Discord account. For people who don't know what Discord is, I've had the hardest time with Discord. This is part of my boomerish ways. I can be pretty techie with some stuff. I can be pretty techie in some areas. Video editing, everything. Discord, I've tried it. I do not understand it. It's like these different servers. You can have different interests. And I don't like the anonymity of it. I just don't like it. But it would behoove all of us as parents, even the grandparents out there, whomever, to just try and dig in and figure out what the kids are doing. Kudos to this dad, AP. He explained, okay, child victim 1 created this Discord account. He was with his grandparents. This was January 12th, 2025. Now, on January 18th, so 6 days later after this little boy created a Discord, the dad, AP, discovered disturbing messages in child victim 1's Discord chat. I'm so glad this dad knew how to get onto his little boy's Discord and just view the messages and chats. I mean, that's everything. That's a great dad. This dad, AP, reviewed the chats and discovered a conversation in which a Discord user, later identified as Italo, they didn't know it yet, of course, was online soliciting AP's 8-year-old son to reveal his genitalia and engage in acts. Ugh, these boys, God help them. The dad, AP, explained this Discord conversation showed that Italo engaged in multiple video calls with child victim 1 as well. I didn't even know you could do video calls on Discord. See, some of these apps, I don't even know all the features. There are a lot of parents probably don't either. Like, oh, maybe my kid's over there just, chatting with gaming buddies or whatever. I didn't even know you could create video calls on Discord. So the dad spoke to child victim 1, and the child admitted to pulling his pants down and revealing to the individual later identified as Italo during a video call. So the little boy told his dad what happened. Trooper Stallings also contacted the mother of the child victims as well as the two child victims. They're just calling them Child Victim 1, Child Victim 2. One was born in 2016, one was born in 2019. So that's why we see one is already 9 or going to be 9 this year, and one is only 6 or going to be 6 this year. The mother of the child victims stated that both these child victims pulled down their pants during the Discord video call, and one victim did expose himself and the other never pulled his underwear down. When asked, child victim 1 confirmed, and then the suspect also promised both of the child victims video game currency in exchange for these acts he's making them do. So Trooper Stallings then asked child victim 1 to describe the physical appearance of the suspect on the video call. Child victim 1 described him as a white male with brown hair and no facial hair. And I've got to tell you, he looks very different. Like in Italo's mugshot, that's why I was like, let me research this and make sure I have the right photos, because he looks so much different in his mugshot that was released compared to Italo's Facebook photos. His Facebook photos, he is indeed very clean shaven, no facial hair, very curly hair. He looks very youthful, and I have some of the dates of these Facebook photos I'll probably put on the screen. But when we get to that mugshot, I was like, oh my, he looks way different. Trying to find the mugshot. Where is it? And we don't know if this man knew Stephen Stearns at all or anything. It's really weird. I don't think that's the same man. And that's why I'm doing all these FOIAs myself. The mugshot just, okay, now I see his mugshot. Now, oh, he looks so evil. Oh my goodness. It's like all the light has gone out of his eyes. See, there was a different, I'm saving this right now. Probably will become part of my, See, there was a different mugshot of a man posted last night, and that guy had like a little goatee, and I was like, whoa, he looks so different. Where did he get all this facial hair? But this looks like him now from Click Orlando. So I see this mugshot now where he has very thick curly hair, but his eyes look horrible. He just looks Italo Brett Benini, 25, the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Okay, so that's him. You see, I'm still researching so much into this case. I've researched so much already. So back to the description the victims gave about this horrible man. Child victim number 1 described Italo as a white male with brown hair and no facial hair. CV1 stated he was 16 and a grown-up, and he has a driver's license, and he was not smiling. Yeah, he's not smiling on this booking photo either. But I don't know why the child thought he was 16, because obviously this man is like 25. Maybe Italo lied to the kids and said, I'm a 16-year-old, trying to pretend to be younger for some reason. I don't know why the child spoke about having a driver's license. Maybe that's something Italo told these victims. Trooper Stallings read through the whole Discord chat and obtained the Discord username and user ID number for the Discord account. I'm so glad these people cannot be as anonymous as they think they are on these different apps. Multiple messages from the suspect, Italo, were observed, telling the two young boys to take the computer to a more private spot away from the adults. So that's another thing to look out for. I don't know if Italo was in touch, maybe it'll say, I don't know if Italo was in touch with these kids because was it under the guise of giving them music lessons, or was it just not related to music at all? Maybe not, because I see where he's, promoting his music lessons all around, but probably not. He's pretending to be some random 16-year-old, messing with these kids. Italo made statements indicating that he had shown himself to child victim 1, such as, quote, I just wish you would show yours with me. I showed mine really easily. Oh. Italo then asked child victim 1 multiple times to show his privates in return. Italo then offered child victim 1 and child victim 2 25,000 Robux which is Roblox in-game currency for the victims to show themselves on screen. Then Italo stated, quote, "Both of you pull your pants down together so your peepees are out, and then I'll text you the next instruction." This man, it's hard to know this, but it's good for all parents or caregivers, grandparents, anyone to know these tactics so everyone can be aware. Everyone can go check their child's Discord right now if they have a phone, if they just have a tablet, if they have access to, laptop, wherever they access it, and dig around in there and look for their messages. And if you find anything untoward, do like this father did and immediately contact police and just show them the evidence, because it could save so many children. Who knows how many children Italo was doing this with? And if he's so bold to do it on Discord, did he do it in real life with any of the children, under his purview, under his sphere of influence in Hunters Creek Middle School? God, I'm praying for those parents. I hope all the Hunters Creek Middle School parents, of course, are having those talks with their children so they can come forward too if any more charges need to be laid against this man. Italo continued by saying, quote, "Okay, lower your cams. Okay, lower your cams, and then I want you to do whatever." I'm not going to get into these details, but it's And then he said, "Good job." The rest of the Discord chat displayed similar conversations such as the ones above. The suspect's Discord username was A Sanchez 1020. Discord user, very long number. So these people, they think they can get away with it by being on these different apps, but thank God he was caught. On January 28th, 2025, the Maryland State Police, Bel Air Barrack, notified the Hartford County Child Advocacy Center about the victimization of the victims 1 and 2. The investigation was assigned to Trooper Cook, and Trooper Cook contacted the dad, AP, and corroborated all information previously relayed to the initial responding officer. The dad provided Child Victims 1's Discord account username. The dad verified he didn't observe any CSAM images or videos within any of the Child Victims 1's or 2's devices or applications, which was consistent with their statements that they just exposed themselves during a live video chat. So maybe that's the MO of some of these pedos. They know they can go on a live video chat, then just do the things live. I don't know if they would screen record, or if you even can, or if they would take any images for themselves, the pedos, but they know on the end of the children, okay, there won't be any evidence left because I didn't tell him to send me a video or photos of himself. We just did this live. On January 31st, 2025, Trooper Cook authored a search warrant for the contents of the Discord account A Sanchez 1020, which was judiciously endorsed and served to Discord on the same day. I'm grateful Discord gave up the info. Some of these companies are like, no matter what, privacy, who cares if kids are getting mistreated? All events occurred in Hartford County, Maryland. Discord responded to the search warrant, and Trooper Cook reviewed the conversation between Child Victim 1 and Italo. Trooper Cook read through the whole Discord chat and obtained the Discord username and user ID for the suspect's Discord, and Discord identified the subscriber as this long user ID. This username says Adrian Bro 2 #0. Gave up his email address, which was this A Sanchez 2021 gamer at Gmail, verified the email, gave the phone number and everything. Kudos again to Discord for giving up this information. I think privacy stops when it comes to children being harmed. And I hate to see these crime cases, any crime case, where detectives need to know what happened, and they go to Meta, they go to Facebook, they go to Instagram, all same company, and Facebook is like, no, I won't give that to you because of privacy concerns. To me, that all goes out the window when you're talking about crimes like these. Trooper Cook reviewed multiple messages that Italo sent to the child victims and instructing them to take the computer to a more private spot away from the adults. So that's another clue all of us can pay attention to if a child is, sitting there in the living room with his family or wherever on a device, on a tablet, and then all of a sudden you see the child go off and, try and have their privacy. It pays to stay on top of it and say, hey, what are you doing? Putting the parental controls, as many as you can. I don't know if there's a way to turn off the live video messaging in Discord. There probably is. All these things, we have to be proactive about it. So Italo then made statements indicating that he had shown himself to the first child victim, and he asked that child victim multiple times to show him himself in return. And Italo offered both kids the 25,000 Robux for both kids to show themselves, and, saying, okay, lower your cams and do this and good job. And similar conversations were in the rest of the Discord chat. So this is when they identified the subject. On February 4th, 2025, just 2 days ago, the FBI served an exigent order to Charter Communications Spectrum to obtain the subscriber of the IP address used by the suspect's account at the time the child victims were victimized, as well as the subscriber of the IP address used at the time the account was set up on February 4th. So this is where they found out what happened. On February 4th, 2025, Charter Communications verified that both of the IPs were subscribed to LB. I know who that is. That's his mom. The B stands for Benini. So I did look up information. I was finding out information about Italo V. Brett, who must be his dad, born in 1960. So that kind of age works out for a 25-year-old son. And then I saw his mom, L. Benini. I won't say her first name out there, and I won't give their address, but it says at the residential address of Santa Clara Drive, Orlando, Florida. On February 4th, 2025, an FBI agent conducted a Florida driver's and vehicle identification database check on the address of the premises. This check showed that LB resided at the premises along with Italo and two other significantly older males. So I don't know if one of the males is like her husband Italo and her dad. I don't know. Law enforcement queried the suspect Discord account's registered phone number, it's a 407 number, through law enforcement databases, which revealed that it was registered through Verizon to Italo Brett Jr. Great police work, residing at the Santa Clara Drive, Orlando, Florida premises. Again, I looked that up. It's only like a 1-minute drive, maybe 10-minute walk from Maddie's grandma's house. Not that he's ever been there, perhaps. We don't know his interactions with Maddie, if it was anything untoward, but it's just horrific to see another arrest. There's been a different arrest previously I did not cover related to Hunters Creek, but this one is just so stunning because it's Maddie's music teacher. Law enforcement conducted an open source social media query of Italo Brett Jr. and observed a Facebook account listed to Italo Brett Jr. who indicates on his profile that he resides in Orlando, Florida. Law enforcement reviewed a user profile photograph from the Facebook account of Italo Brett Jr. and compared it to the driver's license photo of Brett Benini, and both photos depicted the same person. So they're looking at his Facebook, they're looking at his driver's license, they're verifying and triple checking, okay, this is the man, this is his IP address, this is where he lives, yes, that's him. As set forth above, child victim 1 indicated that the suspect had a youthful appearance. An FBI agent reviewed the driver's license photo of Italo, and although he is 25 years old, he nonetheless has a youthful appearance. He does look really young, and he probably tried to use that again to his advantage, going after these kids by, claiming he was 16 and trying to maybe make them feel more comfortable, like I'm young like you guys. Both of the males who reside at that premises are a lot older than Italo, so detectives knew, okay, this is the young guy. The kids have verified he looks really young. On February 4th, 2025, the FBI executed a search warrant at the premises. Upon arrival at the premises, FBI agents made contact with the occupants at the door of the residence and asked Italo and two other residents to exit the residence as the FBI executed the federal search warrant. So I'm wondering what time this was, and can you imagine if his parents and whomever else is there, granddad, if they have no idea what's going on, all of a sudden FBI agents are like, come on, get out of here. Concurrent with the execution of the search warrant, FBI Special Agent Michelle Langer and myself conducted a non-custodial interview with Italo, who was repeatedly informed that he was not under arrest, was free to leave, and did not have to speak with agents. Italo confirmed during the interview that he has resided at the premises with his parents since 2001. so he was probably born in the year 2000, so since he was a baby. Italo also confirmed that Charter Communications Spectrums provides internet to the premises and that the Wi-Fi is password protected, so no one else, no random, is probably pulling up in front of his house and, getting on Discord and hitting the Wi-Fi. It had to be him. Italo stated he owned an Apple iPhone, iMac desktop, and an iPad. Italo further confirmed that the phone number and the Discord account in the cyber tip report belonged to him. Italo also confirmed that he was the user on the Discord account with the username AdrianBro2Pound0. However, Italo stated that he recently deleted his Discord account because he was disgusted with himself. Yes, indeed. Perhaps this man has a little bit more self-awareness than Stephen Stearns in some ways. Maybe he'll end up pleading guilty. I keep trying to find him on the criminal court records. During the interview, but before discussing the details of the allegations or genders of the victims, Italo stated that he was, quote, not even gay, and that he, quote, fell into temptation that I should not have. I'm not a sick individual. I made a mistake. Well, he needs to examine himself more there because it is sick. I can't even think with these boys. It is sick to do that. And anyone who is tempted, claims to be tempted by children, yes, you are sick, you have a problem. Get away from children and go get help. I hope Italo will plead guilty and admit to what he did, because Florida does not play with this kind of stuff, and I'm grateful that they don't, so they can see the seriousness of the impact on these children, who I hope are getting help. I hope it didn't happen many times. I just hate that it happened ever. I hope he didn't touch any children down there at Hunters Creek. Italo then admitted that he used his iMac desktop to communicate with children on Discord. Italo chose to speak with children because, quote, they were easier to talk to. Yes, because they're children and they're trusting. They trust us as adults to take care of them and not do this type of thing to them. Italo liked the control aspect of the chat with child victim 1. I just wonder how many children. Italo admitted that he communicated with children via Discord's live chat feature, including video footage. Italo also stated that he recalled the video chat with child victim 1, and he admitted he asked child victim 1 to display himself on the screen and that the child complied. So, conclusion. I'm glad he admitted that stuff, so it'll make it easier to just plead guilty, put him away for his fair sentence. Thankfully, he's away from these other children. If any more charges need to be laid, I hope they are. So, page 10 says, conclusion, based on the above, there's probable cause that on or about January 12th, 2025, in the Middle District of Florida, Brett Bonini violated these Florida codes, signed by Ruth Marrero of the FBI. Thank God they got him. So the other things I found out about him, because I was searching for him, Italo information, and I started finding out information about his parents, apparently, from this Hunters Creek Community Association, this other PDF. Sometimes I guess his dad is just named Brett, and it's kind of weird with all these names flying around, but I'm assuming this is his mother and father of the above mentioned property. They needed a payment plan. There was this request presented to the board where they needed a payment plan in which the homeowner would pay their delinquency in the amount of $750, additional attorney's fees, and current 2005 fees over the next 9 months. So this was apparently obviously 20 years ago. Italo was like a 5-year-old junior. So it was moved on by this person and seconded by another person to approve the 9-month payment plan for the Boninis. And this account number, the attorney's office will handle this payment plan. The motion passed 8-0. So obviously they needed help. So me just searching for Italo Brett, I came up with this other stuff. There's some kind of county civil case. This must be from the parents, the dad and the mom versus Universal Insurance Company of North America. A civil case under $30,000. It was closed. I went through those court records. It was dismissed. I saw his dad, I guess, had some traffic violations. I don't know if that's his dad or granddad. But anyway, this teacher, whose custody record is listed as Italo Brett Bonini, Benini, like one word, Brett Benini, 25-year-old white male in the Orange County Corrections, in the Orange County Jail right now. It says his booking date and time was yesterday, Wednesday, February 5th, 2025, and it just says 12 a.m., so at midnight. So technically it might have felt like, Tuesday night, late Tuesday night, and then he was finally booked. So maybe they visited him on Tuesday, the FBI, and I was like, why was he home? Why wasn't he at school? Maybe he was at school, maybe it was late at night. They knew he would be home. They're like, everyone come out. We have this search warrant. They found what they needed. They confirmed it all. I'm glad Spectrum gave up the info. I'm glad Discord gave up the info. In this instance, again, I think privacy should go out the window when it comes to this, when it comes to especially protecting children. So he was booked, arrested and booked on these horrible charges. Disturbing messages, everything we've already gone over. But I started digging into the way Italo promoted himself. I saw his website. He's like, hello, my name is Italo Brett and I live in Orlando, Florida, a graduate of Rollins College with a Bachelor of Arts in Music. I am a musician and educator with several years experience, specializing in vocal performances. I saw some of those. Maybe I'll throw some of that at the end. He says, I'm the director of choral activities at Hunters Creek Middle School, and in addition to chorus, I also teach keyboard 1 and keyboard 2. I also run my own private lessons studio where I teach piano and voice from, and that troubled me too, because I'm like, oh boy, parents are doing a good thing. Musically inclined children are seeing if their children can be. They're probably sending them off, paying this Italo for private lessons. Did he do anything with those children? I really hope and pray in Jesus he didn't. I mean, just these 2 victims on Discord is enough. But in studying these cases, we've learned enough to know by the time a lot of these predators are caught, that's not their first offense. That's usually not their first offense. They've been doing this and practicing this and just getting bolder and even creepier and just thinking, oh, I've gotten away with it for so long. He wrote, students under my tutelage have gone on to regularly receive positive feedback as well as superior ratings. Superior ratings at NFMC Junior Festival and Chorus Music Performance Assessment. That reminds me, CMPA, I think they talked about that. One of Maddie's friends talked about that. I think that's when Maddie was asking what was the next date of the CMPA. I believe that was it. As a performer and collaborator, I often work as a piano accompanist with musicians around Central Florida, perform in acts as part of Entertainment Central Productions, and perform seasonally with the Caroling Company as a Dickens caroler. I saw him indeed wearing, the hat and everything. And his website talked about piano and voice lessons, affordable in-person and virtual piano and voice lessons in the Hunters Creek, Florida and Kissimmee area. So he's offering virtual lessons online to other people. He offers 2 ways of paying for the lessons. You can choose to pay by the lesson, paying upon conclusion of the lesson, or you can choose to pay for a month's worth of lessons on a designated day. I accept PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App. Don't forget Robux. You give those out too. Okay, 30-minute lessons were $25, recommended for beginners, especially younger ones. His 45-minute lessons were $30, recommended for intermediate students or fast learners, and his 60-minute lessons were $50. Can you imagine the great unsuspecting parents who may have given this man money and go get your virtual lesson with, Mr. Brett, and granted, he might not have done anything with these kids because it's obvious they knew who he was. It's him. I mean, I pray that's the only saving grace where he acted appropriately in these lessons, but who knows if he was just kind of being creepy with these kids too. I don't know. He wrote, as part of my mission to pass my passion for music forward, I offer piano and voice lessons at an affordable rate. Within my lessons, you can expect to gain proficiency, not only in your instrument, but in music as a whole. I make it a point to not only teach proper technique, but I also make sure you take away knowledge about music theory, note reading, clefs, rhythms, etc., and music history. So his goal was to make music both fun and challenging. I always adjust my teaching based on age, personality, and skill level in order to satisfy your needs as a student. I am a traveling music teacher, which means that I come to your location for lessons. Coming soon, I will be opening a studio location in my house. More info will follow when it's available. So did he already get to set up this studio location? I don't know when he wrote this. Were children coming to his house? I take all types of students. It doesn't matter if you're a total beginner, need to refresh your memory, or pick up where you left off. I would be glad to teach you. Recommended minimum age of 6, so that was the age of his youngest victim in this case. Recommended minimum age of 6 for lessons. Younger students can be taught music provided they can demonstrate basic reading and counting skills. To sign up, find my contact info on my contact page or click the word contact. I'm a big believer that technology can be beneficial to learning. He made use of several online resources such as Pro Metronome and Noteworks, all with the hope that everyone can enjoy music and learn a lot. He talked about the pandemic and even restrictions being lifted, but he continues to offer virtual lessons despite the pandemic restrictions being lifted. I teach over the widely popular app Zoom, and my setup includes 2 cameras which show my hands, wrists, and face in order to demonstrate proper technique. Whew, horrible. The Orange County School District provided Channel 9 with the following statement. While the district does not comment on employee matters, Hunters Creek Middle School families were notified that an employee was placed on administrative leave after an arrest was reported. The individual will not return to campus during the investigation, or ever, hopefully. Hopefully he just pleads guilty. He sounds like he's confessing to it all anyway, goes straight to jail, gets his sentence, and gets reformed. I truly believe some people can be reformed if they're meant to be reformed, not everyone, but really get in there, examine himself, get with Jesus, figure out why he harmed these children, and just stay away from kids the rest of his life. You know, just repent. That's what I wish Stearns would do. Just tell what he did to Maddie, get it over with. If you get the death penalty, so be it. In the meantime, speaking of Stearns, on February 4th, 2025, for Stephen Stearns' CSAM case, there was a notice of taking depositions, and it shows that all these officers are being deposed on March 4th, 2025. So there's no way the February 24th, 2025, 9 a.m. jury trial is happening like we knew. But perhaps I'm thinking the February 12th, 9 a.m. pre-trial will stay on the calendar. They'll have a lot to talk about, I'm sure. Let's close with Revelations 14, 11, 12 before I play whatever else I put at the end. Italo's interview perhaps, and maybe some of his videos, singing or playing the piano. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest day and night, those who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is encouragement for the steadfast endurance of the saints, God's people, those who habitually keep God's commandments and their faith in Jesus. This was a shocker. I hate to think of more kids being harmed and exposed to just predators like this, but it does teach us what to look out for, how to be proactive. Like this dad was very great getting in his kid's Discord account. The kid set up the Discord over there at Grandma and Grandpa's. The dad was proactive, like, wait a minute, what is this? What is this chat? Here you go, police. That's a great thing, because Lord knows how much longer it could have gone on and more children could have been harmed. I'm glad they got this one. Let's follow up with this case. Check the links below. We'll follow up with many other cases. Thank you so much for watching all of this. Take care.
Today's date is February 29, 2024. The time is 15:20 hours. It's reference to Orange County case number 24-011313. I'm Detective Bradshaw with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Sir, can you state your first name for me, please?
My name is Italo.
Spell it for me.
Italo.
What's your last name?
Brett. B-R-E-T-T.
Okay. So, Mr. Brett, you are a teacher here at Meadowwoods, or I'm sorry, not Meadowwoods.
Correct, yes.
Okay. So I just had a couple of questions for you in reference to assume that she was one of your students. Would that be correct?
She was, yes.
Okay. What period did you have her in?
I had her initially in 6th period for the start of the year. And
Okay.
then she requested to be moved to 3rd period because she was having some issues of, like, not being able to keep up. Or rather, she was keeping up, but it was too many behavioral issues around her, so she was
Okay.
getting tired. She requested to move to third.
So not behavioral issues like specifically with her, but with other kids that were in
kids,
your
yeah.
class that she didn't like.
Correct, yeah.
I got it. Okay. Did she ever talk to you about her home life, anything that was going on with her, anything like that?
No.
She never said anything to you? Did at any point, did she ever disclose any sort of physical or mental abuse to you?
No.
Okay. Did she mention anything to you about having any suicidal ideations, ever making any attempts at
No.
Okay. Did she ever express to you at any time if she had any mental or medical diagnosis?
No.
Okay. Did she discuss taking any medications with you for anything?
No, the only time I've ever seen her take anything was Tylenol.
Okay.
In the front office, Miss Schilling could confirm with that too, because we both kind of saw her because we were trying to figure out how to sure that she was okay to take those.
Okay.
In here, so.
Did you notice any sort of like recent changes in her behavior from the start of the school year until now?
Not really, no. She just seemed happier within the third period class that we were in,
Okay.
which is the advanced treble course I have. She seemed happier there. She learned her music really quickly, as with the rest of the girls in that class. She usually is very participatory. She's usually up performing with us. She doesn't miss a concert. She doesn't miss anything. The only thing I guess I could note is like on Friday she was sitting, but that a lot of the girls sit at random times, and that's related to either they have cramps or whatever. So I didn't think that was odd, but she usually is up and participating and active.
She didn't tell you that anything was wrong on Friday?
No.
Okay, she didn't mention to you that anything had been going on or that she was feeling sad or down or anything like that? Okay. And you haven't, in your opinion, you haven't seen her have any sort of signs that she's been depressed since the beginning of the school year at all?
Not that
Or
I
any...
know. Like, she's just seemed pretty normal, very, very happy, easy making her friends. I would say she bloomed a lot more in third because she had her friends there. So she was more outspoken and more confident. She's very helpful in my class. She even organized my piano once because it was all papers on top of it. She put it all together and she wanted to do that. So, that's not noticed anything off about her.
Okay. Now, I don't know how you do your grades or anything like that in your class. Has she declined at all in her participation, like in her grades, anything of that nature that you've noticed?
She maintains pretty steady, and I just grade her participation if you're standing and performing and the concerts. So I've not noticed anything of decline. She is there. That the only time, and even on Friday when she was sitting, I think she was still singing with us. She was just sitting down, which was the only thing,
That was different.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. How about her? You've never overheard her talking to her friends about anything like that at all?
When I send a message and talking points or whatever, she reads them. I've gotten before me on Monday evening. Wasn't home yet.
Okay.
She was like, "Hey, is school today?" So she. So she knows, she can reach out to me and it's open to do so and anything because that's, she's always involved. So.
Okay. So since the beginning of the school year, more so happy now that she's in your third period, able to make friends. She's pretty consistent. So nothing out of the ordinary that you can think of off the top of your head that would be alarming or.
Alarming. The only most alarming thing I've seen was the message that Monday when she was missing. So
okay. And what was that message?
It was, I can read it to you exactly.
Okay.
Talking points. So this was through the app Talking Points. Talking Points is what district and county uses to communicate between teachers.
Okay.
It's faster than emails, just texting. So that's loading. So on Monday, February 26th at 5:36 p.m., she said, "Hi, make it to school today. She hasn't made it home today." Then at 5:53, when I was able to reply back, I said, "Hi, Miss Soto. I don't know. Checking Sky where she was absent for periods 1 to 5 and period 7. Period 6, I guess, hadn't marked her, but that's not really so strange because sometimes teachers just forget. That happens. So, but yeah, I told her, that's very alarming. Just, please keep me informed. And I reported it to my teacher mentor. So, and then she reported it to Kelly Armstrong and everyone else in the school. And I guess she'd been waiting for the police for a while, so I kind of talked a little bit then. I asked at 6:20 she was home yet, hasn't made it home yet, waiting for the police, and then so I've heard cop trying to speed things up, but that was it. So then I haven't reached out back because I'm trying to give her space. So
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of that I haven't asked you that you can recall right now, or anything else you want to tell me?
Nothing comes to mind. I think, her behavior is pretty consistent in class. Whenever I see her out of class or whatever, I would say hi. She replies back normally. So.
And she seems like a pretty happy.
Yeah, she just seems pretty happy. It was just, and that's why part of it why it was so shocking that she'd be gone is just how close it happened, how she just, whenever people started saying maybe she ran away, it just didn't seem like it to me that she could be the type to run away.
Okay.
But then, of course, information started coming out about what was happening, so.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So the time is now 15:26 hours.
Be free, that's the way it ought to be. I'm ready, marry me a little, do it with a will, make a few demands I'm able to fulfill. Want me more than others, not exclusively, that's the way